Hello YouTube and welcome to Irwindale, California, site to chase race number 5 now of the Coke Vanilla Cup Series. And first out on track is William Duncan, the 31 Prilosec OTC Chevrolet, and they come into this one 18th in the owner's points.
So William finished 4th in the last short track race. This is the inaugural race at Irwindale, not the inaugural race. The series used to be the All-Star race. 35th, 30th, and 36th the last 3 weekends for Duncan, so it's been a struggling stretch, but trying to get some momentum here. Nobody really has notes for here. I believe we used the last time we were here was season 2 for the All-Star race, so I could be wrong.
Season 2 or season 3, one of those two.
So yeah, we'll see how Duncan. New scheme this week too.
Yep. And we'll have to wait for him to get by the pit lane here, because otherwise it's not going to work trying to get to a new car. Charles Jackson, the longest yard Dodge for car number 9, comes into this one 4th in the owner's points.
So they're up to 4th, 3rd in drivers because that win at Kansas. 33rd at Lime Rock, had a struggling start to the chase, but with a lot of the top guys having problems, Jackson's fought his way in there. Everybody's in the hunt now, literally. And let's hope he doesn't have a long day or the longest yard, and we'll see how he does this week.
That was terrible. Vince Almarego in the Quaker State Menard Chevrolet comes into this one 8th in the owner's points.
So the last short track race, they finished 2nd. They won at Lime Rock, but the Mills portion of that stretch 35th, 25th, and a 39th at Pigs Creek. This is actually halfway home in the chase, this race, as they have 5 races to go after this for the championship, or 4. I think I said that wrong. But anyways, we'll see how the 15 does this week with Quaker State.
You're right the first time. This is chase race 5, so it marks the halfway point here.
Yep, marks. So Quaker State on the 15 this weekend. We'll see how they do.
Alexander Rowe, the Miller Lite Dodge, is currently the 2nd quickest car in this group out of the 4 to take time. And for the 2 team, they come to this one 46th in the owner's points.
So after scoring their first top 5 in the season, 4th at Lime Rock, they DNQ'd. They made Richmond and scored their first top 10 of the season. So Alexander Rowe got a pretty good short track, as Kev's going to hold them up right there. So we'll see how Alexander Rowe does this weekend here at Irwindale.
Stephen Paul III in car 23 just getting out on track. They come into this one 21st in the owner's points.
They finished 40th at Richmond at the last short track race. They did win at South Boston, a short track this year. Have some momentum on their side with the 6th and the 5th, the last 2 races. So if Stephen brought the South Boston car, it's going to be a good weekend.
Henry Sanford, the Domino's Toyota, getting up to speed, comes into this one 7th in the owner's points.
So Henry comes in the weekend 21st at Kansas, the last short track race, 7th at Richmond. They finished 19th at South Boston, so a decent short track pulling for them. Somebody blew up.
That is James Qualls in the 11 with engine issues. Continue on the 00 though.
Henry's in the chase, right?
Yes.
Yep, so he's looking for another good run this weekend, as Qualls will start in the back of the field, which is tough because track position means everything at this track.
Samed Ozkan, the Reese Chevrolet, currently is 8th quickest in the early going here, as plenty of time to improve these lap times. 2019 comes into this one 33rd in the owner's points.
So Samet DNQ 3 races in a row, then finished 17th last weekend. They actually did make Richmond and scored a 21st place finish, and at South Boston they finished 11th. So they got some speed this weekend, trying to improve and get a top 10 for the 2019.
Christopher Pierce currently is 4th quickest in the 41 Target Fujifilm Dodge, and they come into this one 27th in the owner's points.
Top 7th last week at Kansas for them. They finished 15th at Richmond, 41st, 28th in the stretch also for them. So they have some momentum on their side with a little bit of that good run at Kansas. They were up toward the front all race last weekend. So let's see what the 41 team can bring.
Right behind him on track and on the time charts right now is Mark George in car 42. Is currently now down to 7th quickest, as the 42 comes into this one 5th in the owner's points right now.
So not great start, but 23rd, 26th, 8th, and a 21st in their chase start. They finished 7th at Richmond, coming off a win from Texas. 21st isn't a great result, but a lot of the guys had bad runs. That was a decent run, considering all the chasers. We'll see what they can do this weekend. They got a decent short track program, so we'll see how the 42 does. So excuse me.
And with those 2 right behind it, let's go ahead and do it this way, because it's probably going to be easier, in all honesty. The 5, Chris Washer Kellogg Chevrolet, comes into this one 9th in the owner's points.
So Chris started a trigger event on pit road, finished 31st to Kansas, 3 laps down, didn't even get a chance to have a full race put together. 14th at Richmond his last result, but 38th, 19th in the chase, hasn't been too well besides the 3rd at Lime Rock. So Washer came on strong at the end of the chase last season, winning, I believe, the third to last race of the year. So the 5 teams still in it. Don't count out Chris Washer, but he's going to have to get some momentum on his side.
Delon Ebrahimi, the AAA Ford with sponsor on the deck lid there. Currently 18th quickest, and they come into this one 16th in the owner's points.
So instead of going in the first loser spot, they've dropped down to 16th due to a 31st and a 37th the last 2 weekends. They finished 26th at Richmond, and their South Boston result was a 32nd, so not a good short track.
With more issues.
James Quall's going to have to run the 20 car.
Doesn't look like it's damaged, just engines.
Well, they're going to have to pull a 3rd engine out of that car.
As yet again, James Qualls with an engine blow up. Yeah.
Wow.
Not quite sure what's going on with them. Cole Deaver in the Budweiser Chevrolet currently is 6th quickest in this session, and they come to this one 14th in the owner's points.
So 40th for Cole after a hard crash last weekend. They finished 19th at Richmond, didn't give them enough to get in the chase. They do have a win in the 7th and an 18th, so 3 out of the last 4 have been top 20s. The 8 team has been running pretty decently, so we'll see how they do this weekend. 6 fast is a pretty good time.
Worth mentioning, they've got the red side skirt and the principal logo there, right in front of the rear tire. Charles Sanford, we're in California. They've got the Stater Brothers sponsorship on the car. They're currently 18th quickest in this session, though, and they come to this one 40th in the owner's points.
So 40th after a 2nd and 20th at 2nd at Lime Rock, 20th at Kansas after a dismal 12 races. So the 05 team's got some momentum, but the momentum's going to derail with that lap time. Need to pick up the pace for sure.
Clicked on the same car. Zach Rogers, the Valvoline Dodge with the rookie stripe on there, is currently 12th quickest, and they come to this one 19th in the owner's points.
So 39th and a 40, no, that's Patterson actually, sorry. 4th at Kansas last weekend, a 12th at Lime Rock. They finished 9th at Richmond, and that started a stretch of 9th, 5th, and 9th before they got the 18th place finish. So no 98 car this week, so they have their own setup, and thank God I don't have to see 2 Valvoline cars in the same shot again. So we'll see how Zach Rogers does this weekend.
James Qualls currently sitting on pit lane. Now gets his time to be talked about in the good way. Currently is 25th quickest right now. Has not gotten a really competitive lap time, though, as he's 1.6 seconds off the pace. And they have the FedEx Express scheme, I believe, right there. They come in this one 26th in the owner's points.
Well, 26, ever since Vince Arena, the best finish has been 19th to 9th at Michigan, 25th at Richmond. So the 11th team's been struggling, and it looks like they need a new engine program, too. Well, he's definitely going to need something.
There is something going on with that 11 team. They apparently have not gotten the fix going. I don't know what's going on.
Glitch pit stall?
I have no clue. We'll get back to that. Sam Young, the Pep Boys Chevrolet, is currently 15th quickest, and they come into this one 11th in the owner's points.
So 11th and 24th, 16th, and 22nd to last week. Not been a good start to the chase. Had a 31st at Face Scream. 18th at Richmond. Sam Young's quest to win all 3 championships has been going down the tube with Zorline, Time Paul, and Jess having their battle. And but he might have a shot at the Cup one. Everybody's still got a shot, so we'll see how Sam does this weekend.
William Brock in the 18 Interstate Batteries Chevrolet, the black scheme this week, is currently 2nd quickest, and they come into this one 43rd in the owner's points.
So Brock did win last week in the Hooters Series at Kansas. D&Q 3 out of the last 6 races, and in the 3 races they made, the best finish is 31st. That win probably gave him a shot there, and he finished 2nd the D&Q race at Kansas. So we'll see how the 18 team this week, and I hate this paint scheme.
Zachary Fitzwater in car number 19, the UAW Daimler Chrysler 400 scheme right there is currently 10th quickest, and they are 30th in the owner's points.
So the 30th in the owner points, because ever since Vince Arena, also their best finish was 23rd, which they got last week at Kansas. The 19 team has been struggling mightily, but the 83 D&Q last weekend, so that's keeping them in the top 30 as somebody's in the grass again.
It's Qualls again.
James, you need to go home and retire.
I feel bad. I don't know what's going on with that team right there. I've never seen that.
And Charles Sanford up to 5th, so that's a good improvement for them.
Yep. Jessica Shelton, the Motorcraft Ford car 21, is currently 22nd quickest in this group, and they are the best of the rest right now, 13th in the owner's points.
So the best of the rest are like the first loser, I like to call it. 5th, 7th, and 3rd the last 2 weeks. A really good stretch of races for Jess, trying to get that first win since Michigan last season. Let's see if she can do it. And whoa, 3 wide.
I was kind of curious. I think that's part of the problem. I think it's the same engine failure because they're not actually getting teleported back to the garage. I think that's the problem for James. So there is something with that pit stop. Bill Bragg Jr., car 22, is currently 4th quickest in this group, and they come into this one, where 2nd in the owner's points.
So 2nd because of 6th, 19th, 31st, 13th. They did finish 35th at Richmond, had a problem. Won the pole at South Boston and crashed and finished 42nd. So short tracks have not been Bragg's friend. If he wants to stay 2nd in points, he's going to have to get some strength and a good run. But with Allie Nelson, the fast, it looks like he is going to have to lean off her setup.
Jeffrey McCullough is currently sitting on pit lane with the 24th quickest. Basically the slowest lap time here that is a competitive lap time. And the 26th team is 45th in the owner's points.
What a tough break. They made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight races in a row with 2 17ths and 2 29ths back to back to back to back. And D&Q last week at Kansas. And it looks like it's going to be a second straight D&Q.
Game.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out why it was like it went silent. Yeah, it clicked out of the game.
So Richmond and Pigs Creek were 17th. Cleveland and Ride and Lock were 29th. And Kansas and Irwindale could be D&Q. So we'll see what happens.
I'm going to need to freeze this again because it changed something. Alright, we're good.
Alright.
You were finished or no?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Alright.
We got 2 minutes left.
Allie
Nelson. I'll make it quick.
Allie Nelson, the 360 OTC Toyota with the logo on the front of the hood there, is currently the quickest car in this session. They are 35th in the owner's points.
D&Q last week in the last results got 11th, 41st at where did she get? 31st, no, 41st at wait, I'm messing up here. D&Q at Richmond, so trying to make this short track race.
I don't think we talked about Kev. We saw him on track. The Spider-Man Dodge is currently 19th quickest in this session, and they are 38th in the owner's points.
So 38th after making 6 straight races in a row, but definitely going to have to pick up that pace if they want to make the race. Kev's points lead is down to 50, so trying to extend this points lead, it looks like.
Oh boy, I knew that.
Hello.
I saw that contact coming. Zach Flickinger, the Napa Toyota, is currently 12th quickest in this session, and they come into this one 36th in the owner's points.
So Zach finished 10th last week at Kansas. Made Lime Rock finish 27th, but besides that 4th at Texas, have missed 5 races. So trying to make this one, and that lap time is going to be iffy.
By the way, look at the top 5.
Yep. Oh, look who's second.
Joshua Osborne, the Best Buy Chevrolet, is currently 18th quickest in this session, and they are 32nd in the owner's points.
So Osborne's made 2 races in a row, 13th, 18th, not bad results after D&Qing 4 straight races in a row. So we'll see how the Best Buy car this weekend, and hopefully the 66 is not Best Buy.
And that actually will do it. And instead of watching our D&Qs, I kind of want to see. Well, never mind. I was gonna say if he was on track, I was gonna. Okay, I'm kind of curious what's going on with this. I really am. As nice pitting Jackson.
So Bill Davis is the story of the qualifying session. 3 cars in the top 5.
Yep. Look at the bottom there.
McCullough is going to the house. It looks like Kev's going to miss this race. Osborne looks like he could be going to the house. Yeah, so Ozcon's going to be iffy right there. Rowan 8th is going to be a tough.
Rowan 8th? Come on. Let's be honest. 8th place is probably going to make this.
Kev's up to 20th, so he improved his time a little bit. Osborne up to 18th there. Zach Flickinger is going to be
that I'll give you. Osborne will be depends on what happens in Group 2.
And what's going to hurt Kev is he's got damage on the car, so he's not going to be going much faster.
Well, he's on pit lane right now, so.
Qualls did set a lap time of 17.6.
And there's where it is. See? Yeah, so there's something with the pit stall. It's not letting him go back to the garage area. So it's kept the same engine issue that we saw at the beginning for the entire session. They never got fixed. So that's an unfortunate way for Qual's qualifying session to go, and he will start from 42nd anyway. So
yeah, so kind of you don't even have to change anything.
Meanwhile, these flying laps will count for the next, as we are closing in on the end of the session.
And remember, Allie Nelson has not won the Cup, one of the longest losing streaks, along with Tom Shelley.
That is it. Nelson and Sanford run the exact same lap time to the 1,000th. Tiebreaker will go to the 36.
Well, okay, I didn't expect that.
And
so you cheat again?
No, I wasn't cheating the first time. Alexander Rose should be safe as well in the 2. William Brock should make the race, so that's good for them.
And now remember, Osborne was 21st, I believe, at Lime Rock in qualifying.
Should be good.
So no, Osborne was, and he still made it. So it's not over yet.
No, yeah, it's not. Zach Flickinger gonna have to sweat some bullets. Same for Osborne again. Kev will as well, but it does not look good for Jeffrey McCullough on making the show. I think he will be going to the house. And we know that James Qualls, with their engine troubles, will be starting dead last on the grid. There's no way that anyone's running slower than that. No way.
What scheme was the 26th again?
The Crown Royal.
Okay, I'm going to go do that right now.
And with that, we'll take a break, and we'll be right back for Group 2. And we are back for Group number 2, just waiting on a car to go out onto the track. And there we go. It'll be the one car of Muhammad Zain Abdullah, the NWTF #1 Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet, and they come into this one 28th in the owner's points.
So Zain Abdullah, once again, the Coke Vanilla Cup Series bus, I like to call him, 29th place at Kansas after wreck, has not had his best finish, his 21st, I believe, since finishing 3rd at Las Vegas. Has been a really horrible stretch of races for the one, and I don't expect Zain Abdullah to be back next year, so we'll see how he does this race.
Kyle Matthews bringing out the Power of Pride Chevrolet this week for the 48 team. They come into this one 22nd in the owner's points.
So Kyle, with a weekend like you like to forget at Kansas, 42nd there, but he finished 6th and 11th on the road course stretch, 28th place at Richmond, and he finished 39th at South Boston. So just looking for a good run for the 48 team.
Gonna have to wait for it to clear pit lane here, otherwise we'll just get kind of stuck there somewhere. Oh, I guess we still will, because there's only 2 cars out on track. So we're in a little bit of waiting. There we go. Jonathan Zorline, the MyPay Ford, number 7, is currently the owner's points leader coming into this one.
Oh, sorry. Zorline finished, but no, Zorline finished. Where did he finish? 8th at Kansas, 20th at Lime Rock. But it's amazing he's a points leader because he finished 34th at Pigs Creek and 39th at Cleveland. But doing pretty well. Short tracks is not usually the Robbie Gordon thing, but I guess it's kind of the closest to a road course because you harder to drive the corner. So we'll see how the 7 does this week.
Sky Commons, the Red Bull Toyota Car 83, is 31st in the owner's points and 3rd in the early going here of this group, as time's still getting up there and competitive.
For Sky Commons, it's been 2 weeks with a 3rd and a 1st, and then 2 weeks after that is DNQing. So if he can make the race, he looks like he's got winning speed, and if he DNQs, man, that's a tough break of races with him. And he's trying to catch into the top 30, but DNQ race is not going to help with 5 to go.
Graham Patterson, the DeWalt Nano Ford, is currently 7th quickest in this session, and they come to this one 24th in the owner's points.
So Patterson finished 16th last weekend at Kansas, 21st at Lime Rock, 41st at Cleveland. The retirement tour has not been going too well for Patterson. He won in Atlanta this season, so his final year he got a win. But we'll see how he does this weekend in the Roush car.
Gene Sanford in the 47 Orida Ford is currently 9th quickest in this session, as time's still improving, and the 47 team comes into this one 48th in the owner's points.
So we've had 4 out of the last 5 races COTs. She DNQ'd at Lime Rock and hasn't made a race since the 39th at Texas. So Gene, usually a solid driver in the series, just trying to get that 47 back up. There's Isaac Flickinger is 2nd.
Yeah. And that's actually a really good competitive lap. Amy Shelley is currently 12th quickest in this session. The Altel Dodge is currently, or comes in this one 15th in the owner's points.
So Amy's finished 24th 2 weeks in a row back-to-back. She won the last short track race at Richmond, and at South Boston she finished 40th. So if she can have a good run, she can be up there. If she crashes, she'll be in the back.
There is Isaac Flickinger, currently third quickest now, as Jonathan Zorlein has improved his lap time. The Furniture Row Chevrolet comes into this one 51st in the owner's points.
So 36th at Lime Rock. They did not attempt 4 out of the last 5 races due to the COT. 12th at Texas when he made it there. At South Boston, he had a pretty good run if I'm not mistaken. He finished 7th. So the team's got a decent short track program. It's showing right now, so we'll see how he does.
Levi McIntyre in the 99, bringing out that newer scheme that they have, is just jumped up to 6th place in this session, and the 99 team comes into this one 20th in the owner's points.
So moving up after a dismal stretch of races for himself, also has only had 1 finish outside the top 20 in the last 5 weeks. 8th place at Richmond, so we'll see if Levi can have another good run. Made up his lap twice last week at 2. I saw Plord would start 4th with that lap, but Fast is on right now.
Yes. Mary Shelley, the Independence Day themed M&M's Ford, is currently 7th quickest in this group, and they come into this one 37th in the owner's points off that top 5 finish last week.
So one of the best stories last week, at least in my opinion, was Mary Shelley finishing 2nd last week. That's all we got to mention. Good run for Mary after a struggling season. Has ran every single race in the Coke Vanilla Cup Series, and there's not a person in the garage that did not want to see Mary have.
I mean, to be fair, she's missed a couple of the season.
Well, yeah, but as I was saying, everybody in the garage was happy to see that, and we'll see how Mary can do that. 7th right now. It'll look pretty good to make the race.
Tristan Wilhoy is currently 4th quickest in this session with his lap time in the 3M AmeriQuest Ford, and the 16 is 10th in the owner's points coming in.
So Tristan last weekend was the Daniel James at Darlington, finished 30th, somehow still running with that car slow as crap. 22nd, 36th, and the 10th in this chase start. Finished 39th at Richmond. Like I said, no more Crown Jewel events, so I don't expect much out of the 16.
Steve Pollard in the Holiday Inn Chevrolet currently comes into this one 39th in the owner's points and 12th in the driver's points.
So Steve's chase has started off as we expected, crappy. 221st, 41st, and a 16th. Finished 6th at Richmond, but he still has a chance at the points, 115 points back, so we'll see if Steve could start off right. He did win the last technical short track at Vents Arena. I don't really count it as a dirt track, but we'll see what Steve can do this week.
I think it's a little bit closer than what you just said. I'm just saying. Preston Plord, the NASCAR Day Chevrolet, just got dropped to 2nd quickest as Jonathan Zorlein is 1,000th of a second off the front row. Plord is 25th in the owner's points coming in.
Plord finished 8th at Kansas, but after that, his best finish for a long time was 5th, since his 3rd place finish at Twin Rig was a 15th at Riverside. It's a good shot at the arm for this 20 team. We'll see how he does. He's going to be a little down on engines after James Squalls.
Well, to be fair, actually, remember, we found out the revelation was that was the same engine. They never actually replaced it, so.
Yeah, Chris Wilson up to 6th, too.
Max Anderson in the Snickers Ford is currently 9th quickest in this session, and the 88 team on the stretch of making races is up to 34th in the owner's points.
So 33rd at Kansas, besides the 42nd at Riverside, too. The team has been a top 20 machine. It's Max, Mr. Top 20 Machine Anderson, so we'll see if he can get another top 20 finish this week.
RJ Reynolds just ran his quickest lap time of the session, which moved him up to 12th in this session, and they come into this one 42nd in the owner's points.
So RJ's had a really stretch of race since Pennsylvania. 4th there and 2nd at Cleveland as Mary Shelley's blown up.
No, she actually got wrecked, and that is some pretty extensive damage to the back end of that 38 car.
Well, that looks like to the rear of the field. But DNQ last week at Kansas for RJ. 4-time DNQ winner of the season. Trying to make it the 5-time DNQ winner if he misses the race. That lap time, it's going to be close.
It's going to be iffy. Yeah. Jack James, the 1957 Lucas Oil Chevrolet, is currently 16th quickest in this session, and they are 29th in the owner's points.
So we haven't seen that paint scheme that much this season. But Jack James,
that's the first time it's come out.
Yeah, to be honest with you. 15th at Kansas, one of his best runs since the return from injury after Riverside. Finished 5th at Richmond, so if they bring the same car, they'll have a good result this week.
Chris Louvier, the Principal Financial Group Chevrolet, is currently 22nd quickest, and they come into this one 3rd in the owner's points.
So 3rd, dropped out after a crash last weekend, big time damage on the car. He's down here actually. Where are you, Chris? There he is. So he finished 39th there after having a stretch of 3 straight top 20s in the chase. Trying to rebound this weekend, and 22nd is not going to be a good rebound. There's Mary Shelley's skid marks.
Johnny Gardner, the Kenwood Dodge, is currently 19th quickest in this session. Time that is tied with Charles Jackson currently. And the 06 team is 44th in the owner's points coming in.
So it's been a really dismal stretch of races for Johnny since Darlington. He's only made 2 races since that point, and he has best finish in the 2 races made was 30th. And it's been a really struggling for Johnny's personal life and Johnny driving on the track. So hopefully things get better for you, buddy.
As we had a massive glitch out there with Fraps and the game, so that's always fun. Will Lewis, the 07 NASCAR Hot Pass Chevrolet, is currently 18th quickest in this session and 23rd in the owner's points.
So Will Lewis finished 25th, 38th, 42nd the last 3 weekends. He finished 8th at 23rd at Richmond. The 017's been struggling, so trying to get a shot of the arm this weekend for them.
Let's see. Dylan Young, the Nicorette Cinnamon there Chevrolet, or the Nicorette Cinnamon Chevrolet, I should say, coming into this one. They are 23rd quickest right now on the track. They are 6th in the owner's points.
So 32nd last week at Kansas as Charles was celebrating the Pepsi car wreck. No, I'm kidding. 10th place at Lime Rock, 24th at Richmond. So Dylan's struggling right now, and that lap time's definitely not. So it might be another week where people at the bottom of the chase grid move up.
Might be. Seth Cole, the National Guard Chevrolet, is currently 17th quickest. So another one of the Hendrick cars struggling right now. And the 25 team comes in this one 17th in the owner's points.
So the best finish, well, they've had 3 top 20s in a row, 27th at Kansas, and their last at Richmond they finished 42nd. So we'll see how Seth does this weekend. He has not won yet this year, and trying to get another win.
Tom Shelley making contact with Chris Lubier coming out of the pits there. The Coke Zero Dodge is currently 18th quickest in this session, and Tom Shelley's 45 team comes in this one 41st in the owner's points.
So Tom, after DQing 2 straight races in a row, finished 6th. 41st at Pig Creek and 33rd at Richmond. It's been a struggling season for Tom. Also, we'll see how he does. And we skipped over the 40. Oh, big crash.
As it was Tristan Wilhoit in the 16. He's got extensive damage to the left side of that car.
Now they might be able to beat that out.
They might be able to, yeah. Not quite sure who he would have been hit by, though. We'll have to make sure to note that down so we come back to it.
Yep.
40 of William Flickinger, the Coors Light Dodge. Can't tell. It doesn't look like it's the wide mouth cans. So they are currently, now they're 18th quickest in this session, actually. So apparently someone jumped up while we were talking about Tom Shelley. The 40 team comes into this one 47th in the owner's points.
So they've DNQ'd 4 out of the last 5 races with a 10th. Actually, the other race they made was a 10th too. Now they've been choking hardcore, and I mean hardcore if you don't follow the DNQ series. They've finished 10th the last 2 races Kevin has made, and they're only 32 points, 35 behind now. And it looks like they're going to be more because Kev's going to miss the race, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Tim
right
Randolph.
now both of them are borderline, so there's that. Tim Randolph, car number 60, the Sabe No Fear Racing Ford, is 12th in the owner's points coming in.
So 38th at Kansas, 23rd at Lime Rock. He finished 3rd at Cleveland, had a chance to move up and be one of the top 5 in the points, but has been choking and struggling after being sneaky and consistent early in the season. We'll see if the 60 will be back on that pattern this weekend.
Chris Wilson, the Haas Chevrolet with Garmin on the side, is currently 8th quickest in this session, and they come into this one 49th in the owner's points.
So Chris Wilson DQ'd at Lime Rock in Texas. We haven't seen Chris in a race at the 42nd at Riverside. Yeah, 42nd at Riverside. He did not finish 42nd at Riverside. Actually, 13th at Vents Reno's last results because I have 242, so I have to fix that. But anyways, we'll see if the 66 can make the race.
Well, he possibly didn't. There's someone there that did not. We already talked about him. Pretty sure we already talked about the 83, didn't we?
Yeah, we got over everybody.
Sweet. And that means it's time for me to do my little math stuff now. Yay.
Gene is 7th, so it looks like who's at the bottom?
Well, I can't really do my thing if I'm looking at the bottom.
Well, Sky Comms is going to the house.
Someone just jumped. Oh, it was Dylan Young jumped up. Okay.
He's actually the fastest car on track.
And he's actually
the pole sitter.
He's made sure that the pole sitting time will be from this session. Oh my God, there's a tie between the 83 and the 88.
Oh my God.
If it comes down to a tiebreaker, that would be amazing. I would hate it, but it'd be amazing.
So it looks like officially Kev will miss it, Osborne, because a lot of these guys are going fast. Flickinger looks like he'll probably go to the house with RJ and Gardner. Chris Wilson is going to make his first race in a while. And who's at the below 20th now?
Oh no. I just figured out where the bubble is. And oh my God, it's heartbreaking.
Well, Steve Pollard just dropped to 13, so somebody actually broke the tie. Sky Comms in the top 10 now. 4th. No,
Johnny Gardner to the top of the board.
Holy crap.
So I can say it now. It doesn't matter. The heartbreak was when I did the math. Johnny Gardner was out by 1,000th.
Well, now he's the pole sitter by a lot.
Johnny Gardner to the top of the board on his last lap of qualifying to basically shatter what I know of who's in the race. Great job.
Steve Austin's music plays.
So, what that does, I will say this, it sends Zach Flickinger to the house.
Not surprised.
What's happened is it definitely has sent Zach Flickinger to the house. Because he was on the bubble and Johnny just passed him. So,
big time. Well, he passed everybody.
Here's what we know. Johnny Gardner's on the pole. Dylan Young will start alongside. And I have no clue who's making it beyond that. I think Sky Commons is safe. I think Isaac Flickinger and Gene Sanford are in the race. I think Chris Wilson is. I think Mary Shelley is. We know Steve Pollard is. And I think Anderson is, but I'm not sure anymore. I really don't know anymore.
We've lost all control of the broadcast, guys. William Flickinger's definitely going home.
Well, yes. So anyone that ran 135 or slower, I can say is going to the house. So that is RJ Reynolds, William Flickinger, Tom Shelley, and yeah, and then anyone from Group 1 that fits the bill on that. So with that, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't today.
Hold on. Also, all 3 of Kev's drivers missed the race.
You know what? It makes up for the 2 weeks where all 3 of them made it. How about that?
I'm sorry, I had to throw that in there.
I guess in that sense, it makes up for the 2 weeks where all 3 of them made it, right? So continuing on with that, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed all that good crap.
Wow.
I said it once already. I don't like saying it twice. I can't even get through it. Either way, the starting grid will be coming up right after this, and this has been a production of the NRSL. We'll see you guys next time.